You're listening to The Final Bell, a behind-the-scenes, real talk, faith-led space for women transitioning from 9-to-5 jobs to entrepreneurship. I'm Rachel Roach, former teacher turned CEO of Crown of Glory Solutions, and I believe running a business rooted in faith shouldn't feel like a constant hustle. If you're ready to walk in purpose, build a business that honors your values, and lead with spirit-led strategy, then my friend, this podcast is for you. Let's get started. Hey friend, if you've got a cup of coffee nearby, go ahead and grab it. This is one of those conversations where I really just want you to feel like we're sitting on the couch together for a minute. Because what we're talking about today, I've been living in it. Let me just say this right out of the gate. I used to be completely convinced that my problem was time. Like if I had just a few uninterrupted hours, everything would fall into place. I'd catch up on emails, I'd finish client work, maybe even feel ahead for once. And honestly, I still catch myself thinking that sometimes. But here's what I've started to notice, and it took me a while to actually admit this to myself. Even when I do get the time, I don't always feel caught up. And that's kind of a frustrating place to be. Because then you start questioning everything. You start thinking, am I just really bad at this? Why can't I get it together? Other people are doing more than me. What am I missing? And it starts to get heavy really quickly, especially when you're not just running a business. You're raising kids, you're managing your home, you're showing up in your marriage, you're trying to be present in all places that matter most. I had a moment recently where I was sitting at my computer trying to focus on something that honestly wasn't even that complicated. And my son climbed into my lap. My daughter came to the side and needed help with something. And I felt that tension rise. You know, that feeling of, if I just had a minute. But here's the thing, that minute doesn't always come the way we think it should. And I had this thought, quiet but clear. Why are you trying to build this like you don't have them? That question stayed with me because the whole reason that I built this business was so that I could be at home with them, so I could be present, so I didn't have to choose between showing up for my family and contributing financially. And yet somewhere along the way, I started trying to operate like my life was quiet, predictable, and uninterrupted. And it's just not, let's be honest. There are little voices in the background and snacks that need to be made. There are moments that don't wait, especially in the midst of potty training. And instead of building my business around that reality, I found myself constantly pushing against it, trying to force something that just did not fit. There's a verse I keep coming back to lately, and it's from 1 Corinthians 14:33. And it says, "For God is not a God of confusion, but a God of peace." And I don't know about you, but when my days feel scattered and reactive and all over the place, that does not feel like peace. That feels like utter confusion. So I started asking some different questions, not how do I get more done, but what actually makes sense in this season? And that shift, it's subtle, but it changes everything. Because some days do look different now. Some days I don't finish everything I planned. Some days I stop mid-task. Some days I choose to sit on the floor and help with something instead of pushing through one more thing on my to-do list. And you know what? My business, it's still here. My clients are still being well served and nothing is falling apart. But I feel different. I feel more grounded and less frantic, more aware of what actually matters. I'm not perfect, just steadier. So if you've been feeling behind lately, and if you've been telling yourself, I just need more time, can I gently offer something? It might not actually be time. It might just be that the way you're trying to do things doesn't fit your life right now. And that's not failure. That's an invitation to adjust and simplify, to build something that actually works with your life instead of constantly feeling like it's competing with it. Proverbs 3:5 has been sitting with me too lately, and it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Because my understanding said, you need more hours. But God's way has been showing me you need alignment. And those are two very different things. One leaves you extremely exhausted, while the other one actually brings you peace. Before I wrap up, if this is something you've been wrestling with, this feeling of being behind or scattered or overwhelmed, I just want you to know you're not the only one, and you are not doing it wrong. You might just be in a season that requires a different approach. And if you're trying to figure out what that looks like, you don't have to do that alone either. You can always head over to my website and just start there. Read, explore, reach out if you want to, or even just sit with this for a bit. All right, friend. That's what I've got for you today. No big checklist, no perfect system, just something I've been personally walking through and learning in real time. Thank you for joining me today for The Final Bell. If this episode encouraged you, inspired you, or helped you feel a little less alone in this beautiful chaos of faith, family, and business, I'd love for you to share it with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep showing up, keep seeking God first, and keep building the life and business He's called you to. I'll see you in the next episode.